Hi, I'm Dean from Gambling.com, and today we're going to talk about Premier League stats, and more importantly, how to use them when you're betting. The Premier League is a fast-paced and seemingly unpredictable league that produces some shocking results season after season. There are, however, a number of reliable trends that could make your Premier League weekend a profitable one. So without delay, let's take a look at some of the key Premier League statistics to inform your weekend bets. Most common scoreline. First up, let's look at how you can interpret the most common scoreline statistics. Not every game in the Premier League is as exciting as you might think. In fact, the most common scoreline last season in the Premier League was actually 2-0, which makes up almost 20% of all match results each season. Close behind the stats was 2-1 and then the good old-fashioned 1-0. In fact, 1-0 was the most common score of the 2017 and 18 season. So you could agree that goals are on the up in recent times, but what's good for football lovers is that 0-0s are on the decline, with just 21 games being goalless last season, which was down from 32 games the previous 10. Keep these figures in mind when you're betting on the correct score market or the overs and unders market, especially when closely matched teams are playing. Most common halftime score. Keep in mind that more goals are scored in the second half of games than in the first half, according to the most recent stats. It's not a huge bias, but with 58.3% of goals coming in the second half, when you're trying to work out the highest scoring half markets or perhaps the halftime score betting options, it's something you have to be aware of. Popular bets like halftime, full-time are the primary focus here. A fancy team might be a bit more value to go in level at the break, but then wear down lesser opponents as the game draws on into the latter stages of a frantic Premier League fixture. So whilst the game might start out slow and be deadlocked, be aware that historically only 30% of Premier League matches end up goalless if the result is a 0-0 draw at halftime. The home advantage. Some betting fans will dismiss the home advantage as a myth, but the stats don't lie. Last season, 180 wins were gained by Premier League teams at home, and that's almost 50% of all matches. What's fascinating is that independent team records account for a lot of this bias. Take Arsenal, for example, in their first season under Unai Emery. 14 wins from 19 games at their home ground at the Emirates, but only 7 wins on their travels around the rest of the Premier League. Knowing which teams need home advantage to win can be crucial, and mapping the current home and away records of each is easily done from a glance at the official Premier League table. For some teams then, the 12th man in the stands is often the most important player in actually getting that win over the line. Average goals per game. Before getting involved in the total goals market, or as they're described by punters, the overs and unders, it's essential to check the goals per game stats for the teams involved. Premier League fans saw an average of just over 3 goals a game last season, but there were outliers in the numbers, and that is mostly down to the enterprise, or the lack of, with the managers involved. Last season, Bournemouth played open and attacking football, making them likely to score, but also vulnerable to shipping some goals at the back. Their game saw a Premier League stats high of 3.32 goals per game, whereas Newcastle, struggling for survival under wily Rafa Benitez, kept it tight with just 2.37 goals per game. Know your teams, take a view on the styles of play, check the latest stats, and you have a solid base from which to make your picks. Time of goal. In-play betting on the Premier League has taken football betting to a whole new level. The time of next goal and the goal to be scored in the next 10-minute markets are amongst the most exciting to bet on during a football match. This is clearly a spur-of-the-moment, gut instinct decision when the flow of the match is changing. Perhaps a key substitution has been made, or a team has to chase the game rather than settle for a result in the final stages. Late goals generally win matches, and no surprise perhaps that Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, well, they're well into double figures each season for scoring in the last 15 minutes of Premier League games. And conversely, won't be a surprise, the likes of Burnley, West Ham, Southampton ship similar numbers during that crucial time in games when the pressure is the most intense. Watching the game and paying attention to the ebbs and flows of a match are crucial to making these markets pay for you. So, now that you know how to use common Premier League stats to inform a bet, it's time to choose the right bookmaker to test your newfound knowledge. Check out our full list of comprehensive betting site reviews by clicking the video window now.